let me show you guys the radishes that I started. Well, before I show you guys the radishes, let me show you what I have. So I have the icicle short top. That sounds good. And I have the early scarlet globe. These are the ones that I attempted to grow twice and failed. But if at first you don't succeed, hey, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Oh my gosh, fall is right around the corner, y'all. So in this video, I'm going to list all of the vegetables that you can begin planting in August. I have a great list for you all. So yeah, let's get right into the video. I'm so excited and a little overwhelmed regarding my fall garden. There's a lot of preparation, y'all. I haven't really begun to prepare. I will be doing some preparation today and then maybe next week. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So the first plant that you can start in August is gonna have to be lettuce, my lovely friend lettuce. Now, I had a very hard time growing lettuce. I attempted to grow it the first time, second time, third time, all three times, failed. It was an epic fail, y'all. What I did instead was I started them indoors hydroponically and then I moved them outside. That was the only way that I was able to grow lettuce from seed, okay? I know they are beginner friendly, but for some reason I had no success. So I'm gonna try to grow it from seed in the soil this time around. If it doesn't work, then we're gonna try the hydroponic method again. But lettuce is going to be the first on a list because they are fast growing and they thrive in cooler temperatures. And you can succession plant them every 3 weeks. That's what I'm gonna do so that you get a continuous harvest. Now, let me show you guys the container that I will be putting them in. This is the container that I am going to be putting them in. And as you see, it is filled with bush beans. So I'm probably going to be starting my lettuce towards the end of August. Oh, you know what? I can start them indoors. So I'm going to start them indoors just to allow this to mature and you know, just so to allow myself to harvest from the bush beans. I'm going to start them indoors. You can do the same thing and then transfer them outside later on. Or you can direct sow them, but lettuce would be number one on my list. And the next on my list is gonna have to be spinach. Spinach is the other crop that I've had a hard time growing from seed in the soil. The only type of spinach that I was able to grow, y'all, was Malabar spinach. So this is my Malabar spinach. They're supposed to be getting taller, but these were the only ones that I was able to grow from seed. These type of spinach are tropical spinach, so that is not the one that you need to be planting in August. The one that I'm going to attempt to plant is the Bloomsdale long-standing spinach. So we're going to give it another try, but spinach would be the next on my list. They prefer cooler temperatures. They prefer the fall weather. They tend to get a little sweeter after a light frost. All right, the next on my list is going to have to be kale. Now, this is going to be my first time growing kale. First time, y'all. I love kale. I eat it all the time, but I've never grown it before. And this type of kale, it's called the lacinato kale, and it's from Survival Garden Seeds. They are ideal for August. They are ideal for cooler temperatures. And they also become a little sweeter after a light frost. So I'm going to start these indoors. So yeah, start your kale, y'all. Now, the next on my list is going to have to be Swiss chard. I have several containers of baby Swiss chard seedlings. As you can see, you know, there's some over there as well. First time growing Swiss chard. And as you can see, I started those in July, like July 12th. So they've just kind of been hanging out until I can get them to their permanent home. But Swiss chard, they're one of those crops that tolerates heat and cold temperatures. And they just keep producing until frost and beyond. So drop them down right now. You can start them indoors. You can start them, you know, direct sow them, but Swiss chard would be the next on my list. The next on my list is going to have to be collard greens. I'm going to be dropping some more collard greens, but I have collard greens in this container, and then I also have collard greens in this container. So I have some baby collard greens that are hanging out over here, just waiting for a permanent home. Y'all, I am so I don't know, I feel a little discombobulated. I don't know if some of you feel the same when it comes to preparing the garden and what to plant, what to companion plant, etc. I get a little discombobulated because I want to plant everything, right? I don't know if you guys feel the same way. With collard greens, they are tough. They are a frost tolerant green and they are great for fall and winter planting. So collard greens would have to be the next on my list. The next on my list is going to have to be cabbage, 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 cabbage. Now, this time around, I'm going to attempt to grow cabbages from seed. And I'm going to start those indoors so that I can transfer them outside once the temperature gets a little cooler. I'm in zone 8A, so it's still hot. Now, the variety that I have is the Golden Acre. This is going to be my first time growing this variety. And hopefully I have some success with it. Who knows? But cabbage would have to be the next on my list. If you plant them now, you'll be able to get a fall harvest. I put together a super helpful guide. It's called the Grow by Zone Calendar, and it's on my website. It is a month-by-month planting roadmap that tells you what you need to start indoors and what you can direct sow based on your zone for each month. Every zone is different. You see a lot of those videos. This is what you need to start in August. This is what you need to start in September, etc. There's no more guessing or Googling every time you want to plant something, depending on the month, depending on your zone. You don't have to do any of that. I put together all of that for you in the guide. You can grab the full bundle on my website. It's made especially for beginner gardeners like myself, and especially if you're growing in containers or small spaces. So yeah, it's on my website. And the next on my list is gonna have to be carrots, y'all, carrots. So I had a small win with carrots. I planted carrots. It was September of last year. It took 8 months, y'all. 8 months for me to get a tiny little harvest. But then I did sow them in a small container. I was thrilled to get a harvest nevertheless. This time around, I'm trying all of the variety. Give me all of them. I have the Rainbow Mix, Denver 126, regular carrots. That one doesn't have a name. And I have the Scarlet Nantes. Now, I've already dropped some carrot seeds. Let me show you. These are the Scarlet Nantes, and I dropped them on July 5th because I wanted to get a head start. You can do that depending on your zone. I'm going to be getting more grow bags so I can drop the other varieties. Go ahead and drop your seeds so you can get a fall harvest, hopefully. You know, hopefully it doesn't take 8 months like it did for me. The next on my list is going to have to be beets, y'all. So this is the Detroit Dark Red. I have not been able to grow this from seed yet, but I'm going to attempt. The thing that I love about beets, y'all, you can get a dual harvest out of them. So you can harvest the greens. I love the greens. They make a great soup. So you can harvest the greens and you can harvest the roots. They love fall temperatures, and now would be a great time to direct sow them. Next on my list would have to be radishes, y'all. Now, I have not had any success with radishes yet. I've attempted to grow them twice already, and both times, no luck. So listen, we don't give up over here, okay? We don't give up. I'm gonna try again. So radishes would be next on my list. I've already started some radishes. Hopefully those survive and make it. I have been keeping them in a shaded area. Look at my tomatoes back there, y'all. So I have a shade cloth over the tomatoes because Georgia heat kills everything. My plants have been struggling, y'all. They've been struggling, so I've been intentional with keeping them protected. But let me show you guys the radishes that I started. Well, before I show you guys the radishes, let me show you what I have. So I have the Icicle Short Top. That sounds good. I haven't attempted to grow this yet. And I have the Early Scarlet Globe. These are the ones that I attempted to grow twice and failed. But if at first you don't succeed, hey, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again. Let me show you my radishes. So these are how my radishes are looking. I'm going to be growing a lot of radishes, y'all. A lot of radishes. They are fast growers. I just haven't had any luck yet. But I'm going to put them on rotation, just succession plant. You can do that every 3 weeks, just drop in seeds every 2 to 3 weeks so you can get a continuous harvest. So I started these on July 12th, very early, I know, but they have been here. They have been in a shady spot. So hopefully they don't die. The next on my list would have to be cauliflower. Yes, I'm excited for cauliflower. This is going to be my first time. If you are growing in containers or grow bag, cauliflowers need a lot of room. Your container, it has to be a minimum of 10, 15 gallons and just one plant in the container or grow bag. But cauliflower would have to be next on my list. You can start them indoors and then transfer them outside. This is what I'm going to do because, again, it's still too hot. But get a head start, y'all. Get a head start on your fall crops. And it's going to be my first time growing cauliflower. Next on my list is going to have to be parsley. Parsley, y'all. I'm going to be starting those indoors as well. And parsley, they just keep producing. They keep producing and producing and producing. So start them now for a continuous harvest all through winter. Parsley would have to be next on my list. All right, so that's all that I have so far, y'all. You see the sun is getting closer and closer and closer. I have to wrap this video up. I've given you guys a great list. I hope you get started on your fall crops. Get started right now. Whatever you can start indoors, start them indoors. Whatever you can direct sow, like the carrots, drop them now, because that's what we want, right? We want an abundance amount of food. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to check out my previous video, and I will see you all in the next one.